Alright, it's Mario movie time. Now, I might sound like a child for saying this. I might sound like a tasteless. I might sound like a rube, but I'm actually very excited for this. Like, I know it's Illumination, and Illumination hasn't really made, like, good movies. I think the original Despicable Me is alright, and to be fair, there's a lot of them I haven't seen. But I think they are actually pretty good at animation. I think they often make, more often than not, they'll do a good job with the actual raw animation. It's lively, it's fluid, it's got Sakuga, lots of movement, good colors, good brightness, just a nice feel to it. I think as long as Nintendo is the one that's writing it, this could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. The voice acting, I mean, I like some of the people they have in it. I like Charlie Day a lot. I like Jack Black. But it doesn't bode well for me that they just lined up a ton of, like, big-name celebrities. But it does bode well for me that the cast is all just, like, the biggest Mario characters. And it's not, you know, some original doofuses or whatever. And the thing, though, I just love Mario lore. Like, I'm looking at this poster, and there's just so many little things that I'm already excited for. Like, the antique store that has, like, the low pixel versions of things. Like, the treasure chest from Mario 3 Toad House and stuff. Like, I don't know, just all sorts of little things. The fact that we're going to see into the world of Mario in this way is really, really exciting to me. Like, I'm the type that when I'm playing Mario Kart and I'm driving around and I see, like, the billboards and stuff, or, like, the ruins, and there's, like, Mario characters in hieroglyphics in the ruins, or there's just, like, kind of weird things in the background, like, what are those toads doing there? Like, how did they come here to watch this race? Like, where is this? Just trying to, like, situate things into a greater reality with Mario, which, you know, is absurd, but it's in that absurdity that I really enjoy doing it, and I feel like this movie is going to give us more material than, like, almost anything else. Because it's all lore, no game? I don't know. It's so crazy to me that this is happening. Like, why now? Why, after all these years, have they decided it's time for a Mario movie? Shouldn't it have started by now? I didn't have that much preamble prepared. Hurry up. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't understand why people are saying 3 minutes. I do understand why people are spamming the One Piece is real. But there's no need to get into that. I see I got some Slack messages, but work can wait. It's Mario time. Yeah, I don't have any other preamble to say. I kind of already said everything. No, I can come up with some stuff. So, I think some of the things that are giving me encouragement, they've got these enemies. Oh, my face is in the way. These enemies. These are not like super common Mario enemies. I think they're from New Super Mario Bros. Or Mario 3D World or something like that. But they're not like Goombas. They're not like the most common enemy. And it makes sense because why would Goombas be in this little outer market area of the Mushroom Kingdom, right? That's nonsense. Goombas are like kind of like feral animals, sometimes in the service of the Koopa Kingdom. But these little guys, I don't know. Maybe they're like domesticated. Maybe they're just like pigeons. I can see here a toad with a Cheep Cheep that they've bought at like a pet store. You can see the pet store back there. It's got not only a Cheep Cheep, but one of those spiked Cheep Cheeps. So what I'm saying is they're going like a layer deeper. They're not just having, you know, the most basic Mario stuff and then a whole bunch of original stuff. They're fleshing it out with the deeper layers of Mario. That's what really excites me. Same with, like, you know, the music box from Mario Bros. 3. That's a little obscure. Here there's, like, a pie store. And it's, like, not everything needs to be a reference, either. Like, this pie store, I don't think that's a reference to anything. Pies aren't particularly associated with Mario. Unless you're going to the pie factory in original Donkey Kong where people thought those little trays of cement looked like cream pies. But it's like, you know, why wouldn't they have a bakery? This is like a thriving kingdom. I don't know. I think it's a good poster. I think I have good reason to think there's going to be some love put into this. Again, I want Nintendo to be the ones writing it. because I think Nintendo's the sort of people they have at Nintendo of America that like write things for them, I think are pretty funny and they're pretty weird. Like if you look at like Nintendo's like E3 skits and stuff, they have this like very bizarre sense of humor. And I know like they collaborated with like Robot Chicken and stuff too. It just kind of hits this like sweet spot for me where it's kind of like wholesome and endearing and inoffensive, but it's still just kind of weird in a way that sort of tickles me. And I'm hoping it'll be kind of like that. Because there's no way that's not going to be largely like a humor-based movie. Like, if they were going to really replicate the Mario series, it would be like a slapstick action movie. It would be like a Buster Keaton movie. But I think it's going to be more your standard like quips and jokes and character humor and stuff. And there'll probably be some arcs. I don't know. They're going to probably go for the entire emotional range of kids' movies. There's Miyamoto.
As we previously mentioned, in today's Nintendo Direct will reveal the first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Animated
This is
movie
so fucking
for the very
crazy.
first time. This Nintendo Direct is also being broadcast simultaneously at New York Comic Con.
Wow.
Hello, New York Comic Con.
And everybody in New York Comic Con's going,
It's been
"What?"
nearly 40 years since the original Mario Bros. Game was released in Japan. Today, lots of people around the world are playing Mario games.
Lots
Thank
of
you all
people.
so much.
Such an understatement. It's like
Finally,
hundreds of
the world
millions.
Super Mario Bros. Will become
Hundreds of
an
millions?
animated movie.
Maybe not hundreds of millions. Tens of
We've been
millions.
working on this movie together with Chris Meledandri from Illumination for a long time. From brainstorming and all the way through production. The time flew by as we were having fun figuring out how to depict the Super Mario characters and world. Now, I'd like to hear from Chris-san, my good friend and great partner for the movie.
Okay.
Let's bring him in. Chris-san.
Thank you, Miyamoto-san. I am speaking.
He's got a minion in the background. He's got two minions in the background. He's got that stupid Secret Life of Pets movie.
Crew of artists. When I tell you that producing the Super Mario
But he's talking about
Bros. movie
artists.
with you and your team at Nintendo has been an absolute privilege.
Cautiously optimistic. I remain cautiously optimistic. I just love Mario.
Bringing the very
Even though I
best of their
hate
talent to
Minions.
this film every day.
Although I do like Despicable
Next
Me
week, we
1.
complete animation.
It's
We're
tough.
knee-deep into
It's
lighting
tough.
and compositing. Composer Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage in just 11 days. He's been
Huh?
working hand in hand with Koji Kondo.
Shouldn't the movie just be like done already? Isn't it coming out like this December? Am I crazy?
Miyamoto-san, it's been over
They're
7
actually just
years
doing the
since
score
we
now?
first
That seems
started
insane to
talking
me.
about
I thought these movies had like a
together.
6 months
And
buffer.
it is thrilling to finally be here
At
to
least.
show the
When
very
is it
first
coming out? Maybe it's not
movie
coming out when I
footage
think it is.
with Mario fans at Nintendo Direct and at New York Comic Con.
Uh,
Miyamoto-san, shall we go ahead and introduce some of our cast?
okay, we already did
Chris-san.
this.
Now, I'll
Maybe they'll do
introduce
the
two of the
voice.
stars from this movie. Both of them love Nintendo games and made this into a really fun movie. Are you ready?
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
He just recorded this in his house?
Mario Brothers arcade
This
games,
seems like so unprofessional.
laundromat. And then,
I
of
guess
course,
they wanted it to
Nintendo,
have like a
and I
down-to-earth
played
friendly
that,
feel.
I mean, maybe years of my life.
I really liked
It's
Chris
an honor
Pratt on
truly
Parks and Rec.
to be able to speak to the man who
And then
created
since then I haven't really
those
been interested in
memories.
anything he's done.
And it's
But now he's both
an honor.
Mario and Garfield, two of my most
been a
beloved
lifelong
childhood
dream of mine.
icons.
That dream, like all dreams, faces one critical challenge. As in the film, I must face off against an utterly ruthless scene stealer. Every great hero needs a diabolical enemy, and I promise you I could not have been paired with the more perfect king of the Koopas, Bowser,
Jack Black?
and my friend,
He kind of
great,
sounded like Jack Black when he was doing that voice just now.
supremely talented Mr. Jack Black.
I like Jack
Thank
Black a
you,
lot.
Chris, but I can't let you have all the fun.
Very
Now it's
endearing
time for us to make
person.
this moment all about me. While you've been dreaming about playing Mario,
This is so weirdly unprofessional. You'd think they would bring them into some studio setting or
this
something,
flowing
or
mane doesn't just appear overnight.
they'd like rent an office. Isn't this a big deal? I thought this was like a big deal. It was the first footage of the Mario movie.
And all
One
this
of the
hard
most
work,
recognizable
I am so
characters
proud
in the entire
to have
world
been
is
able to
getting a
collaborate with
movie.
you and Miyamoto-san,
Like a proper
as
movie.
well
There's
as
the other
entire
Mario
Nintendo
movie.
and Illumination team on this cinematic experience, one that will make its mark on Mario fandom forever.
It will. If it's good or if it's bad or even if it's mediocre,
Chris-san,
it'll make a big
Jack-san.
mark.
All right then. Thank you all for waiting. Let's
Alright.
press the start button.
Okay. The music is terrible, but why do they have to use music like this in trailers? Hmm. There's a Magic Koopa! I love Magic Koopas! The first thing we saw was a Magic Koopa. I love Magic Koopa. Aww.
Open the gates!
Oh no. Oh, it's penguins. Okay, so Bowser's been going around fucking up kingdoms. This is some penguin kingdom. Aw. This is the type of humor I expected.
What a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not.
This is such an unfair matchup. So this is just like a whole ass scene. I thought...
Now who's gonna
stars. Interesting. He sure looks like a Illuminations character. Why I got no Dumpy though? Why I got that Hank Hill ass?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
That's it, huh? Okay. Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach, I guess. Did they announce that before? Yeah, I guess they probably did. Okay.
I want to thank all of you for being part of this moment with us, and we're excited to share even more footage in the coming months.
I'm looking forward to it too. What do you think will happen during Mario's adventure in the Mushroom
I'm
Kingdom?
definitely gonna see it.
Production of the movie is going well.
It's
Like with any Nintendo game, we're working.
I guess it doesn't really matter what I think at this point because I'm definitely gonna see it.
Next trailer.
I remain
Great
cautiously
experience watching
optimistic.
the Super Mario Brothers movie in movie theaters.
It hasn't really changed my
You'll get to see the Mushroom
perspective
Kingdom
at
on the
all.
big screen.
It's
Look
basically
closely, because
exactly what I
fun things in
expected.
All sorts of places. This
See,
film
that
will be
appeals to me.
enjoyed by
That there'll be
people
lots of
of all
little
ages.
Easter eggs and
So I
stuff.
hope you'll get to a movie theater and cheer for Mario. That's all for today. We'll see you next spring in movie theaters. Thank you.
Next spring. Okay, I was way off. I thought it was like in a couple months. Okay. Yeah, basically everything that I didn't expect I was happy about. Like Magic Koopa showing up. That's great.
The king of the Koopas!
Magic Koopa kind of got like a Jewish stereotype voice, but sure, whatever. The trailer music and stuff, like I get that they're doing like kind of like a fake out thing, like, oh, you think it's gonna be like crazy epic, and then, you know, it's just these like little penguins and it's like a little bit of a tension killer. Same with like, you know, Bowser shows up. I kind of expected him to say something like goofy and quippy here, so, you know, that was impressive. Like, the only kind of humor is like this little joke, which I like. Maybe these are gonna be like major characters. Because a lot of the Koopas look the same, but these two are pretty different. Personality-wise, appearance-wise, I don't know. I like the lighting and the modeling of the characters. They kind of look like they're made out of plastic, which is kind of neat. It reminds me of like the promotional art for like Mario RPG and Mario 64, where there was like a ton of like renders. showing off the character details and stuff. But it's good. Yeah, it's not that goofy. Like, they're not undermining everything. Like, they still want Bowser to kind of feel scary. And then the joke is that they just are so outclassed. Like, that's good. That's good. But again, it's like, okay, here's my beef. They set it up as if this is like, you know, your expectations are for a normal trailer or a normal movie. And then, psych, you know, it's this kind of anticlimactic, haha, all they can do is throw snowballs, whatever. It's fine, it's cute. But, like, I want the Mario movie to exist more outside of pop culture, I guess, where it's like, it wouldn't be right, I think, for it to parody movie trailers and stuff, because this is all stuff that has come since Mario. Mario is so much more timeless than that. Its world of imagination is so much more unique and separate than that sort of stuff. It doesn't need to play into our expectations for a normal movie, because we should have never expected this to be a normal movie in the first place. This is Mario. This is a lore that's like half a century old being manifest in this extremely weird way all of a sudden. That was good. Nice little character acting here. It's not over-exaggerated. I like it. I like the design of this little catapult. The fact that the original things look like they have some thought into it, you know? Like, these penguins are fairly generic, but they put some effort into, like, designing their kingdom and stuff. They put some effort into designing, like, how this little... I guess this is a trebuchet and not a catapult, I'm sorry. Would work. Or maybe it is a catapult, I don't fucking know.
That is but a taste of our fury.
And the character acting in this guy's pretty good. Again, it's not too over the top. That line read, I think, is good. You can tell it's Jack Black, but he's not being like a parody of himself. Why are there some penguins over here? What? I guess there was like a cut. Or, I mean, I guess those penguins were just rushing in and now they're turning around or whatever. This is good. Again, like, the visuals are impressive, right? Like, Illumination is good at this sort of stuff. The destruction, the fire. Again, they're making Bowser seem scary. I like it.
Now who's gonna stop me?
I don't know if I like this line that much. That doesn't really seem like in character for Bowser. He's more like disgruntled. But I guess in this situation he's very excited. Alright, well, let's speculate on lore a little bit. Now, I've often held this private belief, because no one will care to listen to me about this stuff, but you're watching this video, so this is what you signed up for. There's the invincibility stars, and then there's super mushrooms, and I think those correspond in kind of like an equivalent relationship to the power stars of Mario 64 and their cousins, the Power Moons and the Power Shines, and the Toads. That the power of the stars, especially in Mario 64, it's the game I'm most familiar with, so it seems most apparent to me there. The stars definitely have some sort of like, kind of like testing quality. They only appear under certain circumstances. They appear in recognition of certain feats or deeds. They appear in recognition of like gathering resources or collections. Like, you could say, oh, that was Bowser. Bowser hid the power stars away into these worlds, which is true. But then, once they're in these painting worlds, the power stars seem to only want to give their power to Mario under certain circumstances, right? There certainly seems to be, like, a certain intelligence behind them. And when you look at games like Paper Mario, where there's star-related things, something in the same general family, if not the same species, that can speak and have all sorts of agency and all sorts of stuff like that. I really think there's kind of like a weird classification of animals where like we see similarly, like we've seen a lot of, well, actually no, that doesn't help my argument. I won't get into that. But I think the mushrooms that Mario eats to get big and their relationship to Toads is very similar to the star mushroom Mario touches to become invincible, and the power stars, which are these like conscious entities. Now, I think the mushrooms and the Toads represent like all that is real, okay? like the material basis of the Mario world. And the star, that spectrum, that tiering, represents kind of like a spirituality, the effervescent, intangible, transcendent things in the Mario world, almost like electricity, almost as if they are what's facilitating the mechanics of the game, which in many cases they actually are. You know, like collecting the stars is what progresses you in Mario 64. So I think in this role, it's going to be similar to Mario 64. You can see it rotating. It's key that these things have eyes, you know. When it has eyes, there's a bit of life in them. This is going to give Bowser some sort of power. He's not going to be invincible, I can tell you that. The invincibility stars, they're always bouncing. These days, they're like rainbow colored. They're constantly like shifting in color. But everywhere you see the star-mushroom dichotomy, it's almost like a yin and a yang, that they require each other to create like the actual reality of the Mushroom Kingdom, but they represent not oppositional but complementary forces that are wholly distinct. So here we'll see a very harsh cut from star to mushroom, from star to mushroom, from star to mushroom. The character design, I think, is a little, it's very, very generic, you know? It kind of looks like you asked, as if, imagine there had never been, like, a 3D rendering of Mario before, and then you asked an AI to create one. It would look like this. It would look like this more than it would look like Mario in any actual Mario games. But it's fine. They made his eyes really, really big and expressive, which makes sense. They put a lot of, like, detail. You can see here. This is actually just so impressive. Like, we take this sort of stuff for granted so much, but, like, it's not trivial to do these things. There's only a few studios in the world that can just consistently do this stuff. But, like, look at the creasing of the fabrics and how it changes as Mario shifts around. It's cool. And you're like, who cares? But I think it adds something. It adds a certain ability to, like, suspend your disbelief and immerse yourself in it more when all of these little things are correct, even if you don't notice them. So that's like a show of encouragement for me. Like, sure, it could be a little more cartoony, it could be a little more, like, minimalistic, a little more stylized, but I think this is fine, and I think it does enrich it in a different way. I love the lighting here. This is really cool. These, just the splotches of shadow and light and stuff. The pipe in the background. So it looks like they're going with the Mario's like a fish out of water. And this is like sometimes the canonical story of Mario, that he's from Brooklyn. He's just some dude from like the real world, which has never really sat well with me, because like, why the fuck is he dressed like that? Why does he wear a cap with like an M on it and stuff? But I don't know. I guess maybe back in the day, goofy Brooklyn plumbers would market themselves like this. Whatever. So he comes to the Mushroom Kingdom. What is this place? Extremely cliche, but, you know, I can't expect everything. It's going to be a very cliche and generic movie. As long as it has a lot of Mario stuff, that's all I'm hoping for.
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die!
There's a Toad. This isn't quite Captain Toad, it's just a Toad with, like, a big backpack. But there's no Captain Toad hat or anything like that. This joke is, like, fine. It's very silly.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on!
And then the first real, like, harsh cut of the movie, like, the first cut that... or the trailer. So far it's been, like, very, very clear, but obviously something significant has happened between those two shots.
Kingdom, here we come.
I like the indentation on the mushrooms. Again, it, like, makes it feel a little more real than I would have thought possible, which is neat. Yeah, I guess that's about all that happens. Oh, and then I wanted to look at this last scene, because I got distracted. Where Luigi shows up. That's great. The cutting is for trailer, and the music is for trailer, and it's hot garbo, and I don't care. But I'm... in perceiving the movie that's happening between these shots. I think it could be good. I like that they actually made the dry bones scary, you know? I'm sure they'll have a lot of goofy bits too, but this is a scary shot. It's intense. I like the look of this castle. This is really cool. The environments are just fantastic. The fact that Luigi's going to do all this spooky stuff is great. I can't... The music and stuff is so obnoxious. I guess in the end they just have to make it like every other trailer, because if they don't, then there's like a bunch of tastelets that are like, huh? Is this a movie? I don't get it. Everything is so genericized for big budget things, but you know, that's just how it has to be. And again, the movie is going to be extremely generic. It's going to have very route humor and jokes and stuff, but I just want it to be weird and to have a lot of little Mario things and to have cool visuals. If it can hit all those three things, I think I'm going to like it a lot. Okay. All right, that's enough.
Thank all of you for being.
I don't think I have anything more to say. The One Piece is real. The One Piece is real. The One Piece is real. L is real. All right, see ya.